The first question is 3 into 3 into minus 1. 3 is a positive integer and minus 1 is a negative integer. The product of a positive integer and a negative integer is always a negative integer. So here we put a minus sign and then we multiply 3 with 1, so we get 3 1 3. So minus 3 is our answer. The next question is minus 1 multiplied with 225. Minus 1 is a negative integer and 225 is a positive integer. If we multiply a positive integer and a negative integer, then we get a negative integer. So here we put minus sign and then we multiply 225 with 1. When we multiply 225 with 1, we get back the same number. So our answer is minus 225. The next question is minus 21 multiplied with minus 30. Here we have two negative integers. The product of two negative integers is always positive. So here we put a positive sign. And then we multiply 21 with 30. If we multiply 21 with 3 and put a 0, then we get our product. 3 1 ja 3 and 3 2 ja 6 and put a 0 here. So our answer is plus 630. The next question is minus 316 multiplied with minus 1. Here we have two negative integers. The product of two negative integers is always a positive integer. So we put a plus sign here and then we multiply 316 with 1. When 316 is multiplied with 1, we get back the same number. So our answer is plus 316. Now the next question is minus 15 multiplied with 0 and multiplied with minus 18. When 0 is multiplied with minus 15, then we get the product 0. And if 0 is multiplied with minus 18, then we get 0. So 0 is our answer. You cannot put a minus sign here because 0 is 0. 0 is not a positive integer. 0 is not a negative integer. So you cannot put here minus 0. This is our answer. Now, let's see the next question. Minus 12 multiplied with minus 11 multiplied with 10. Here we have three integers as minus 12, minus 11 and 10. If we multiply minus 12 with minus 11, then we get a positive integer because the product of two negative integers is always positive. So we put a plus sign here and then we multiply 12 with 11 and then we multiply by 10. So if we multiply 11 and 12, we get 11 to the 22 and 11 banja 11 and 2. So here we get 132 multiplied with 10. 132 banja 132 and put a 0. So our answer is 1320 or 1320. The next question is 9 multiplied with minus 3 multiplied with minus 6. So if we multiply 9 with minus 3, then we get minus 27. Because when a positive integer is multiplied with negative integer, then we get a negative integer. So our answer is minus 27 multiplied with minus 6. Now we have two negative integers, so our product is positive. 6 7 are 42 and 6 2 are 12 and 4 60. Our answer is plus 162. The next question we have minus 18 minus 5 multiplied with minus 4. Here we have minus 18 and here we have minus 5. If we multiply minus 18 with minus 5, then we get plus 90. Because the product of two negative integers is always positive. So here we write 18 5 are 90 and put a plus sign here. And then we multiply it with minus 4. So in this step we have a positive integer and a negative integer, and if we multiply a positive integer with negative integer, we get a negative integer. So put a negative sign here and then multiply 90 with 4. So we get 4 9s are 36 and a 0. So our answer is minus 360. Multiplication of integers is very easy, but you have to follow some rules like the product of two negative integers is always positive. Product of a positive integer and a negative integer is always negative. Now we have question I. It is minus 1 multiplied with minus 2 multiplied with minus 3 and multiplied with 4. So, first of all, we multiply -1 with -2. -1 is a negative integer and -2 is also a negative integer. If we multiply a negative integer with a negative integer, then we get a positive integer. So here we can write +2. 2 1 ja 2. We write +2. And now multiply with -3 with 4. Here we have a negative integer and a positive integer. So we get -12. Because the product of a negative and a positive integer is always negative. Now this is a positive integer and this is a negative integer. So on multiplying a positive and a negative integer, we get negative integer. So here we write 12 to the 24 and put minus sign here. So our answer is -24. The next question is -3, -6 multiplied with -2 multiplied with -1. If we multiply -3 with -6, then we get +18. Product of two negative integer is a positive integer. So we write here +18. Now, if we multiply -2 with -1, then we get +2. This is a positive integer and this is also a positive integer. So if we multiply +18 and +2, and then we get +36. This is our answer. Now come to the next question 2. Verify the following. The first question is 18 multiplied with 7 plus 3, 7 plus -3 equal 18 into 7 and plus 18 into -3. So this is the left hand side and this is the right hand side. Here we have to multiply 18 with the sum of 7 and -3. The sum of 7 and -3 is 4. Because if we add a positive integer with a negative integer, then we subtract the negative integer from positive integer. So if we subtract 3 from 7, then we get 4. And on the right hand side, we get 18 7 ja 126, and if we multiply 18 with minus 3 is a negative integer and 18 is a positive integer. So if we multiply 18 with minus 3, then we get a negative integer and it is minus 54. Now here we have to multiply 18 and 4, so we get 72. And here we have to find the sum of 126 and minus 54. Minus 54 is a negative integer and 126 is a positive integer. So to find the sum of a positive integer and a negative integer, we subtract 54 from 126. So when 4 is subtracted from 6, so we get 2, and 5 is subtracted from 12, so we get 6. The left hand side is 72 and the right hand side is also 72. So we can say that right hand side is equal to left hand side, and the property of distribution of 18 is verified here. Now let's see question B. Minus 21 multiplied with minus 4 plus minus 6 equal minus 21 multiplied with minus 4 and minus 21 multiplied with minus 6. So let's start. Here we can write minus 21 and we have to find the sum of minus 4 and minus 6. To find the sum of two negative integers, we add both the integers. So on adding minus 4 and minus 6, we get minus 10. And in the right hand side, we have to multiply minus 21 and minus 4. Product of two negative integers is positive. So here we get 4 1 ja 4 and 4 2 ja 8. And similarly, the product of two negative integers is always positive. So here we get plus 6 1 ja 6, 6 2 ja 12. So we have plus 126. Now on multiplying minus 21 with minus 10, we get plus 210. And on adding 84 with 126, we get 640. 1 is carry, so 12 and 8, 20 and 21. So our left hand side is equal to right hand side. That is the distributive property verified. Now let's see question number 3. For any integer a, what is -1 into a equal to? When -1 is multiplied with a, we get minus a. So this is our answer. Product of a negative integer and a positive integer, we get negative integer. So minus a multiplied with a, then we get minus. Determine the integer whose product with -1 is. Determine the integer whose product with -1 is. -20. Suppose we have a integer x. When x is multiplied with -1, then we get -20. So x equal -22 divided by -1. So we get +20. For B part, here we have 37. Suppose x is multiplied with -1 and then we get 37. So what will be the value of x? X equal 37 divided by -1, so we get -36. Our next question is 0. Suppose x is multiplied with -1, then we get 0. It means -1 is multiplied with 0. So you can find it very easily. 0 is divided by -1, so we get 0. Our answer will be 0. Now come to question number 4. Starting from -1 into 5, write various product showing some patterns to show -1 multiplied with -1 equal 1. Here we have -1 multiplied with 5. So here we get -5. Now -1 multiplied with 4. So we get here -4, and -4 can be written as -5 and +1. Now -1 multiplied with 3. So here we get -3, and -3 can be written as -4 and +1. -1 multiplied with 2. So we get -2, and -2 can be written as -3 and +1. Now -1 multiplied with 1. So we get -1, and -1 can be written as -2 and +1. Now -1 multiplied with 0. So it is 0, and 0 can be written as -1 and +1. Now -1 multiplied with -1. So here we get +1, and +1 can be written as 0 and +1. It is very clear that product of -1 with -1 is +1. It can be seen from here also that the product of -1 and -1 is +1, and we have to prove the same. So -1 multiplied with -1 equal 1. This is our answer. Now question 5. Find the product using suitable properties. Suitable properties. Our first question is 26 multiplied with minus 48 plus minus 48 multiplied with minus 36. So it can be calculated using distributive property and using commutative property. So first of all we use commutative property. Commutative property says that if A into B then B into A, both the products are equal. So using this property you can write here minus 48 multiplied with 26. 26 multiplied with minus 48 always equal to minus 48 multiplied with 26. So this is commutative property. And write the second term same to same. Now we use distributive property. What does this property say? If A multiplied with B plus C, then we have A multiplied with B and plus A multiplied with C. Or if we have A multiplied with B plus A multiplied with C, then we can write A multiplied with B plus C. So this is the distributive property. Using this property, we can see here minus 48 is multiplied with 26 and minus 48 multiplied with minus 36. So put minus 48 here and in the next bracket we can write 26 and plus minus 36. So we use this property here. Now minus 48 multiplied with sum of 26 and minus 36. Here we have a positive integer and a negative integer. So to find the sum of these two integers, we have to subtract 26 from 36. If we subtract 26 from 36, we get minus 10 as the difference of minus 36 and 26. So our answer is minus 10. Now multiply minus 48 with minus 10. This is a negative integer and this is also a negative integer. Product of two negative integers is always positive. So here we write plus 48 multiplied with 10 and finally we get our answer 480. You can also write it without plus sign. So it is 480. Now come to question B. Here we have 8 multiplied with 53 multiplied with minus 125. First of all, we use here commutative property. So 8 into 53 can be written as 53 into 8. The commutative property says that A into B equal to B into A. That we can multiply two integers in any order as A into B or B into A. Both the product are same. So using commutative property, we write 8 into 53 equal 53 into 8 multiplied with minus 125. Now multiplying 8 with minus 125, we get minus 1000. The product of a positive integer and a negative integer is always negative. So we write minus 1000. This is the product of minus 100, minus 125 or and 8. Now this is a positive integer and this is a negative integer. So our answer will be negative integer. So here we write minus and then we multiply 53 with 1000. It is very easy to multiply 53 with 1000. 53 ones are 53 and we put 3 zeros. So our answer is 53,000 negative minus 53,000. This is our answer. So using commutative property, we can easily find the product of 125 and 8. So we get here 1000 and product with 1000 is very easy. We put the same number 53 and 3 zeros after that. So our answer is minus 53,000 or 53,000. Now let's see question C. Here we have 15 into minus 25 and multiplied with minus 4 and multiplied with minus 10. You can see that the product of minus 25 with minus 4 is very easy because it is 25 4 is 100 and the product of two negative integers will be positive. So here we write plus 100. Product of minus 25 with minus 4, we get plus 100 and multiplied with minus 10. Now if we multiply plus 100 and minus 10, then we get minus 1000 because plus 100 is a positive integer and minus 10 is a negative integer. The product of a positive integer and a negative integer is always a negative integer. So it is minus 1000. Now 15 is a positive integer and 1000 is a negative integer. So we multiply 15 and minus 1000, then we get a negative integer. So put a minus sign here and 15 is multiplied with 1000. So we get 15,000, that is 15,000 and this is our answer. Our next question is D. It is minus 40 multiplied with 102. Here 102 can be split into two terms as 100 plus 2. And then using distributive property, minus 41 multiplied with 100 and plus minus 41 multiplied with 2. So this is the distributive property as A multiplied with B plus C. Then we write A into B plus A into C. So this is the distributive property. So using distributive property you can write minus 41 multiplied with 100 and minus 41 multiplied with 2. So if we multiply minus 41 with 100, then we get minus 41 0 0. The product of a negative integer and a positive integer is always a negative integer. So here we get minus 4100. Similarly, if we multiply minus 41 with 2, this is a negative integer and this is a positive integer. So our product will be negative. So here we write minus 82. Now minus 4100 added with minus 82. As we have studied that the sum of two negative integers, to find the sum of two negative integers, we add both the negative integers. So our sum is 4182 and put a minus sign here because we add two negative integers. So our answer is negative 4182. This is our answer. Now come to the question E. Here we have 625 multiplied with minus 35 and plus minus 625 multiplied with 65. So it can be written as 625 using the distributive property. Here we have 625 multiplied with minus 35 and plus minus 1 into 65. And we have taken 625 here. So here we have only minus 1. Now 625 multiplied with minus 35 and plus, if we multiply minus 1 with 65, then we get minus 65. Now the sum of two negative integers. To find the sum of two negative integers, we add them. So on adding 35 with 65, we get it is 100 and with minus sign. Now if we multiply a positive integer with a negative integer, then we get negative sign. So here we can write 625 multiplied with 100 and finally we get our answer 625 and 00. So it is 62,500 with minus sign. This is our answer. Now let's see the next question. question is 7 multiplied with 50 minus 2. So using distributive property, 7 is multiplied with 50 minus 7 is multiplied with 2. On multiplying 7 with 50, we get 7 5 ja 35 and 0 and minus 7 2 ja 40. So when we subtract 14 from 350, we get 6 and here we get 3, 3. So it is 3, 3, 6, that is 336. This is our answer. Now see the next question. Next question. We have minus 17 multiplied with minus 29. This is G. Written as minus 30 and plus 1. Minus 29 can be written as minus 30 and plus 1. Now using the property of distributivity, we use minus 17 multiplied with 30 and plus minus 17 multiplied with 1. Minus 17 multiplied with minus 30 and minus 17 multiplied with 1. So when minus 17 multiplied with 30, we get plus 17 3 are 51 and 0. And when we multiply minus 17 with 1, we get minus 17. So here we have 510 and plus minus 17. This is a positive integer and this is a negative integer. To find the sum of these two integers, we subtract 17 from 510. So here we get 493. This is our answer. Now see the next question. Minus 57 multiplied with minus 19 and plus 57. You can see here that minus 57 multiplied with minus 19 and you can take here 57 multiplied with 1 and this can be written as 57 multiplied with minus 1 multiplied with minus 19 and plus 57 multiplied with 1. Or you can say that if we take 57 using distributive property out of the bracket, then here we can write minus 1 multiplied with minus 19 and plus 1. So when minus 1 is multiplied with minus 19, then we get here 19 57 multiplied with 20. 2 7 are 14, 2 5 are 10 and 11 and put a 0 here. So our answer is 1140. So this is question number 5. Now come to the next question 6. A certain freezing process requires that room temperature be lowered from 40 degrees Celsius at the rate of 5 degrees Celsius at every hour. What will be the room temperature 10 hours after the process begins? Here the initial temperature is 40 degrees centigrade. The initial temperature equal 40 degree Celsius. We have to find the temperature after 10 hours. The temperature after 10 hours. It will be 40 degrees Celsius minus 10 into 5 degrees Celsius, because the temperature lowered at the rate of 5 degrees Celsius every hour. So in 10 hours it lowered 10 multiplied with 5 degrees Celsius, or it lowered up to minus 50 degrees Celsius. The initial temperature is 40 degrees Celsius and it lowered 5 degree every hour. So the total temperature which we have to subtract will be 10 into 5 degrees Celsius. So on subtracting 50 from 40 we get minus 10 degrees Celsius. So the temperature after 10 hours will be minus 10 degrees Celsius. Now let's see question number 7. In a class test containing 10 questions, 5 marks are awarded for every correct answer and minus 2 marks awarded for every incorrect answer and 0 for questions not attempted. Mohan gets 4 correct and 6 incorrect answers. What is his score? So here we have to find the score of Mohan. Score of Mohan equal. Mohan gets 4 correct answers. So 4 is multiplied with 5 because every correct answer 5 marks are awarded. Mohan gets 6 incorrect answers. So 6 is multiplied with minus 2 because For every incorrect answer, -2 marks awarded. Hence we multiply 4 with 5 and 6 with -2. If we multiply 4 with 5, then we get 20. And if we multiply 6 with -2, then we get -12. So this is a positive integer and this is a negative integer. We have to subtract 12 from 20. So we get 8. The score of Mohan is 8 marks. Now the second question is Resma get 5s. Second question is Resma gets 5 correct answer and 5 incorrect answer. 5 correct and 5 incorrect answer. What is her score? What is her score? So here we have to find the score of Resma. Score of Resma. Resma gets 5 correct answers. So 5 is multiplied with 5 and 5 incorrect answers. So -2 marks awarded for the incorrect answer. So 5 is multiplied with -2. The product here is 25 and here we have -10. On subtracting 10 from 25 we get 15. So the score of Resma is 15 marks. Our third question is about Hina. Hina gets 2 correct and 5 incorrect. Hina gets 2 and 5. Hina gets 2 correct and 5 incorrect answer. What is her score? So score of Hina. Score of Hina. Hina gets 2 correct. So 2 is multiplied with 5. 5 incorrect. So 5 is multiplied with -2. So here we get 10 plus -10. So the score of Hina will be 0 because this is a positive integer and this is a negative integer. 10 subtracted from 10, so we get 0. So 0 is the score of Hina. Now let's see question number 8. A cement company earns a profit of ₹8 per bag of white cement sold and a loss of ₹5 per bag of grey cement sold. The company sold 3,000 bags of white cement and 5,000 bags of grey cement in a month. What is its profit or loss? If the profit is taken with positive sign, and the loss with negative sign, then the net profit or loss will be calculated as net profit or loss equal number of pipe cement bags are 300. So 300 is multiplied with plus 8 and the number of grey cement bags are 5000. So 5000 is multiplied with minus 5 because each bag has a loss of rupees 5. So profit is denoted by plus sign and the loss is denoted by minus sign. On multiplying 3000 with plus 8 we get 8 3s are 24 and 000. And the product of 5000 with minus 5 we get here minus 2, 25 and 000. So here we have 24,000 and minus 25,000. This is a positive integer and this is a negative integer. The number with negative sign is greater and the number with positive sign is smaller. So we put a minus sign here and then we subtract 24,000 from 25,000. So we get here 1,000. 1,000 is with negative sign. So it is the loss to company. Hence, loss equal 1 rupees 1,000. Now, let's see question B. What is the number of white cement bags it must sell to have neither profit nor loss if the number of grey bags sold is 6,400 bags? So here we have no profit and no loss. It means profit equal to loss. Profit equal to loss. If this condition fulfilled, then the net profit or the net loss will be 0. To find the profit, we have to multiply the number of white cement bags. Suppose these are X and multiplied with 8. And to find the loss, 6,400 multiplied with 5. This is profit and this is loss. And here X is the number of white cement bags. So you can write here let the number of white cement bags is x. So x is multiplied with 8 and 6400 multiplied with 5. And if we divide the whole equation by 8, then we get x equals 6400 multiplied with 5 and divided by 8. So 8 is 64 and 00. And x equal 800 into 5. On multiplying we get 4000. So the number of white cement bags will be 4000. Now let's see question number 9. Replace the blanks with an integer to make it a true statement. -3 a negative integer, but our answer is plus positive integer. So the number which comes here will be a negative integer. 3 9s are 27. So here we write -9. If we multiply -3 with -9, then we get plus 27. So here we put -9. Now let's see question B. Our answer is -35. The first number is 5 and it is a positive integer. So our second number will be a negative integer, because a positive number and a negative number gives us a negative integer as product. So here we write -7. This is -8 and our answer is also -56. So we put here only 7. When 7 is multiplied with -8, then we get -56. Here we have -12, but our answer is positive. So we have two negative integers. The first one is -12 and the second is, on dividing 132 by 12 we get 12 1s are 12 and 1 2 and 12 1s are 12. So we get 11, but our answer will be -11, because when we multiply -11 and -12, then we get plus 132. So we have -11 as our answer for question D. This is our last question. I think it is very useful for you. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.